Welcome to Women's Sports Weekly, where women's sports happen every day, but we talk about it once a week. I'm Carolyn.
And I'm Danielle. Women's Sports Weekly is a podcast where we discuss the latest news, explore interesting stories, and share our love for women's sports. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Women's Sports Weekly Pod. Follow us and rate us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Send us an email at womensportsweeklypod@gmail.com, and we may feature your email on the Les, which is our listeners' experience zone.
We had so much positive feedback for our interview with Andrea. It was so awesome.
Yeah, seriously, that was such a great interview. I think people enjoyed it as much as we did, and we have been hearing great things, which we appreciate.
One of the not so great feedback that we received is that my sister says that I look like a mess on video. So I'm here today dressed.
I am not dressed up, so maybe I should take a hint too. I'm still wearing my sports t-shirt.
My tattoos are out, hair is slicked back. I think you look great.
I got my Everyone Watches the WNBA shirt on. What else can you ask for?
But my sister seems to think that we will get more listeners if we dress better. Do you agree with that?
Not necessarily, but I don't know. Maybe it's true. I just think it's a sports podcast, so I try to wear sports t-shirts.
That's right. I have naked ladies in my ear.
There you go.
Does that count? Those are my earrings, my naked lady earrings.
What sport does that count for?
The sport of art.
Okay.
Art is a sport, right? Sport is art, so that makes art a sport.
Sure.
How was your weekend?
We had a great day on Sunday. You went for a little hike with some friends, and I got out there to do a trail run. I'm really trying to trail run more this summer because I didn't get enough trail runs in last summer, and I'm just so happy when I'm trail running.
It's been beautiful here in Denver. It's getting a little hot during the day, but the great part about Denver and the heat in Denver is even when it's hot, as long as you can find like a shaded area, it gets significantly colder, and then it's just been nice.
Yeah, I love this time of year when the heat is coming, but it's not too bad, and just getting back outside to doing different things. It's really just the best.
Nature heals all. I say it all the time. If you're in a bad mood, just go in nature. If you're in a good mood, go into nature. It's just the best thing ever. And then we got back and got to celebrate Amy from Run Club's birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
Yes, which is really nice. We have a lot of Run Club birthdays coming up, which is exciting.
Yeah, for sure. I also signed up for a marathon this past week,
You
which I'm really
did.
excited about. I haven't run one in over a year now.
And we're headed to...
Toronto.
We're going to Canada, everybody. We're headed to Canada in October, which we love. And although I don't know anything about Canada, we've been to Montreal before.
Yes.
I did my 25th birthday in Montreal. I loved it.
And your family used to spend every 4th of July in Canada. Did you forget about that one?
Yes. My family is very patriotic. So every 4th of July, we would go to Canada.
And I made it one year.
Yes.
It was like the last year you all ever went.
I know. So my mom's boss had a house up there and he would let us go. And that was like right over the New York border. They have on the east coast of Canada, I think it's called the 1,000 Islands. And so we were on one of those 1,000 islands and we loved being up there. But again, my geographic understanding of Canada is really poor. You said we were going to Toronto. I was like,
hold on. Let me take a step back. I asked you before I signed up for any marathon. I said, I want to travel somewhere for this one. It's going to be my 10th one. So I want to do something cool with it. Let's travel somewhere. And I was like, what cities are you interested in? And you said Toronto.
yeah. And the Canadians do not say toe. They say Toronto with a Toronto.
Toronto.
No,
No, I'm
T's.
not trying. I'm saying it how
Toronto.
Okay, you can say it that way.
Okay.
I'll continue to say it my way.
Okay. The Canadians are going to hate us. They
Well-
already hate us. Go ahead.
We're watching basketball over the weekend, and the Toronto Tempo were
No,
playing.
you can't call them the Toronto Tempo.
The Toronto Tempo were playing, and it was a early game. It was in the middle of the day Saturday, and you were like, what time is it there? You're like, did they start at like 9 a.m.? And I'm like, what are you talking about? It was 11 a.m. Mountain. First of all, if it was Pacific time, it would be 10 a.m. So still wrong. And I look at you and I'm like, what coast do you think Toronto's on? And you were like,
I have no idea.
yeah, you were like, I don't know. I was like, you literally told me you wanted to go there. We're going to the East Coast, Carolyn, not the West Coast.
I know. I looked it up on a map. It's so close to New York. I'm like, how? I grew up very close to there. How did I not know?
I was like, You really thought we were going to the West Coast when you said you wanted to go there?
Yeah, I know nothing.
Well,
but
now I feel bad we're going there.
when people call Americans dumb, this is why. And
You are
don't feel
not-
bad.
You are not dumb.
I think the Canadians would beg to differ based on this conversation, but I'm still excited to go. It's going to be great. That time in October on the East Coast of Canada is going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's called the Toronto Waterfront Marathon. So it's
Toronto.
on the water.
Got it.
But it's not the West Coast.
Okay, if anyone listening is from Toronto, reach out to us, give us some tips, help us become a little bit less USA-ified because your girls need help. But I'm very excited for you, and you have a goal. Do you want to say your goal out loud?
No, not yet. I need to get back into training mode. I'm finally starting to feel like myself. I feel like the past few months have just been a little tricky with training, and I finally feel like I'm kind of getting back into my own body, and I'm not ready yet. I need to see like how the first few months go before
you start saying goals out loud.
Yeah, I told you my goal out loud.
Yeah, and I said you got it. I did.
Yeah, you haven't always been like that.
I know. Now I know. But I get every time you say a goal, I'm like, it's a scary goal, and I want good things for you, so I get a little bit afraid. But I'm married to a goal crusher. I've said that about you from the very beginning. You are goal crusher Danielle, and if that's your goal, you're going to do it. And when you're ready to share it, we'll share it with the pod crew.
Yeah, and it's not that ambitious in comparison to my most recent PR. And it might change. Maybe I'll get more ambitious if I start feeling better. We'll see.
But more PRs to come for Danielle in Toronto.
I can only hope. But I'm excited to get into training this summer. It's going to be fun. Can
fun
I
for
convince
who?
you?
No.
You want to run any races in the
No, thank you.
in the lead up?
No, 6 miles was great for me at the Boulder.
Will you promise to do some easy days with me?
How many is some?
Once every 2 weeks?
Once every 4 weeks.
No, I was going to say once a week, but I knew that was pushing it.
Well, we run at Run Club every week.
We don't run together at Run Club.
I know, because we try to be good Run Club people and we spread ourselves out so we can chat with everybody.
To be continued.
Okay, we'll discuss. But we have more stuff in Canada to talk about.
We do.
Let's get into our highlight reel for this week.
We're a little late on this one, but it's still worth mentioning.
It's definitely worth mentioning, mostly because, well, we'll get into this, but there was a parade this past weekend that was simply amazing. So the PWHL, the Montreal Victoire, won the Walter Cup Championship. Maybe, I don't know, by the time this comes out 3 weeks ago. But we had Andrea Carter on and we had to, we had stuff to do.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But they are your Walter Cup champions and they beat the Ottawa Charge in a best of 5 series. The series ended up being 3-1. The series win was a 4-0 victory over the Ottawa Charge at Ottawa. They are the first Canadian team to win a Walter Cup because the last 2 years have been the Minnesota Frost. So no three-peat for the Minnesota Frost, which we love. And I really wanted the Montreal Victoire to win. And they're the one PWHL shirt that I have.
You do. I did feel bad for Ottawa that they got crushed in that final game because I feel like every game in the series leading up to that has been so much closer, but hey, great to see Montreal pulling out.
For sure. Captain Marie-Philippe Poulin was named playoff MVP. And then they had this parade this past weekend, and I'm seeing the videos from the parade, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there are a ton of people there. Approximately 20,000 fans packed downtown Montreal to celebrate the Montreal Victoire. They had a double-decker bus. They were having so much fun, and it was just very cool to see because it was like, this is what women's sports deserve.
Exactly. And all those finals games were packed. Like, the arenas were packed, and I wouldn't expect anything less than to have all those people come out for the parade. So I love that.
And we've talked about this a little bit with the New York Liberty, but people in New York complain. They're like, oh, we haven't had a championship in so long. And it's like, well, no, you have. You've had the New York Liberty, and their parades have been awesome as well.
And the Gotham.
Gotham. Yep. Which are New York, New Jersey, and they're thinking about moving to Queens, which we'll get into on a later episode. We need to get into that. But I just think it's really, really amazing. And I do think this is different, but I have such distinct memories of going to the Pride Parade with my dad in New York City. Like, those are things that will just stick with me forever. And I similarly feel like these parades have such lasting impressions, not only on the players who deserve this, and it's long overdue, but really lasting impressions on the people who go.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool. So congratulations to the Montreal Victoire. Sorry we're a little late, but what a PWHL season. And we got really into it this year.
It was really fun to watch.
All right, let's get into the WNBA. Let's talk about the Golden State Valkyries, who beat the Indiana Fever in a close one last Thursday, 90-88.
Yes, I hate staying up late during the week. And I stayed up late for this one because it was a really exciting game. Veronica Burton was going off. We really wanted to see the Valkyries win, and they did. So I was happy. I stayed up.
So was I. I didn't have to work on Friday, though. So I was chilling. As a reminder, the Valkyries lost to the Fever 2 Fridays ago at this point, 90-82. So this was really good redemption. They made some changes. They played them back to back. They played them, had some time off, played them again, but didn't play any other teams. So they went from losing that game, had a stretch where they could just figure out how to beat the Fever, and came back and beat them. With about 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, Caitlin Clark hit a 3-pointer to pull the Indiana Fever within 1. So the Valkyries were up 81-80. And then on the next possession, Aaliyah Boston scored to put Indiana up 1. And for a second, I was like, oh, the Fever are going to do what the Fever do, and they're going to make this happen. But in the final 2 minutes, the Fever just fell apart. And thanks to the Valkyries just pressing defense.
Yeah, for sure. And I do think having Valkyries crowd was also so exciting for the Valkyries. And maybe home court advantage played into it a little bit, which I love. The Valkyries fans, I turned to you and I said, we must go see a game in that arena. It looks insane in the best way possible.
Yeah, so the Indiana Fever also played Portland this past weekend, which we'll get a little bit into, but they played at Portland. Portland also has great fans, but there were a lot of Caitlin Clark jerseys in the arena. And actually, like, when they were announcing the Fever players, a lot of people were cheering for the Fever players. That's not happening with the Valkyries.
No,
anytime
not at all.
Caitlin Clark got the ball, she was booed because of the last time they played, and she got in a little tiff with Tiffany Hayes. So yes, I 100% believe that Valhalla is the sixth player that helps them win these games.
Yeah, and I just love the crowd there. We just really need to go to a game there. It just looks so fun.
It looks amazing. Colorways, just great.
Yes.
I love that purple. And Caitlin Clark had multiple turnovers at the end of the game. She finished with 5 turnovers. The Valkyries capitalize. The Fever get a final look with under a second remaining from Aaliyah Boston. It would have been a crazy shot to go in, but they got a shot up and unfortunately didn't go in for the Fever. And the Valkyries end up winning 90-88. In this game, Caitlin Clark became the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 500 career assists, doing it in just 59 games during this Valkyries matchup. She did have a rough game, like I mentioned. She shot 3 for 12. And this is where I want to talk about the Portland game a little bit, because this past weekend as well, the Fever lost to Portland. And did you see the exchange between her and Stephanie White?
I did not.
Okay. Let me break this down for you. So it was during a timeout. Stephanie White was very unhappy because Portland came out on fire and just led the whole game for the Portland Fire. And Stephanie White was screaming at all of the team members on the bench. She kind of looked at Caitlin, and then there was like this gap. And then all of a sudden, Caitlin Clark threw her hands up and started yelling back.
Oh boy.
At Stephanie White.
No.
I know. And this happens. We've seen this happen before. And then Stephanie White yelled back at her and then told her to sub out. And she put Raven Johnson in her place.
Whoa.
It was a rough one to get caught on social media. These things happen, and they probably happen a lot more than we know, but this was caught on camera. And it's not a controversial thing to say that Caitlin Clark struggles on defense. So if what I think might have happened was she was talking about the team's defense, Caitlin Clark might have gotten called out a little bit. That went back and forth. And then Raven Johnson, who's known for her defensive prowess, comes in. But anyway, I was just like, oh, this isn't good. Stephanie White is an amazing coach, but we know this team runs off of Caitlin Clark. So it's just like, okay, what's going to happen? It's very early in the season. We don't know, but just wanted to say that we saw it. We've got our eye on it. I don't know. These things happen.
Yeah, I didn't see it. You saw it, but I'll have to take a look at it for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get back to this Valkyries Fever game. So I also want to say that in this Valkyries Fever game, that Raven Johnson came off the bench. She was 2 for 3 from the 3-point line. She scored 16 points. There's no secret here. I am not an Indiana Fever fan. I love to see Raven Johnson do well.
Same. Yeah. Really cool to see her playing well and to be getting pretty decent minutes coming in as a rookie. And honestly, I didn't know how she would pan out in the WNBA.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure because it's so hard to tell sometimes with certain players. But to see her putting up points and playing well, I just love it.
Yeah. And now we need to talk about the Valkyries because they played incredibly. For the Valkyries, Gabby Williams had 19 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. And then Janelle Salon, also off the bench for the Valkyries, had 19 points, just sick. But Veronica Burton, holy cannoli, 25 points, 6 rebounds, and a career best 5 blocked shots. She is just 5'9", and she was blocking everyone.
Yeah, she was so fun to watch in this game, so into it, so much in her flow state, and it's just really cool to see when players have games like that.
Yeah, and the way she leads the team, she's very intense, but you can tell she's leading with an intensity that everyone is jumping on, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like an intensity like you suck and I'm great and that's how I lead. It's like, come on, everybody, let's do this. And I just think that's a really cool thing to see. And we've talked about this before, but as a reminder, in 2022, she was drafted 7th overall by the Dallas Wings. She spent 2 seasons there before being waived by the Dallas Wings. And then she got picked up by the Connecticut Sun during the 2024 season. Then in the 2025 season, she moves over to Golden State and has this breakout year, receives the 2025 Most Improved Player Award, and right now she is averaging 14.5 points per game and 7.3 assists per game. It's really cool to see, and this is what expansion does when we give more people opportunity, and we're seeing it with the Portland Fire as well, with M. Enksler and that whole team, just getting these bubble players that are just doing great. It's really cool.
Yeah, I agree. I might be becoming a Valkyries fan. I'm like,
they're easy to love. And you love Gabby Williams, so let's just get that straight.
Once again, though, I'm just stuck in this position of I don't know what my team is, but maybe I gotta choose the Valkyries. Still love you, Skylar Diggins and Chicago Sky, but I don't know. Valkyries are just...
But you need a team that'll make it to the playoffs.
Valkyries could be a fun team to fall in love with.
Yeah, and it's still so early in the season. I say that Chicago may find their exact stride. But yeah, it's cool to watch because when you watch them play at home, and it's like the New York Liberty and the Aces, just the home crowd gets behind them. And it's like, how could you not love that team?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's get into some updates.
Starting with Run Club. We have Run Club this Thursday and every Thursday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time here in Denver at the 99ers Sports Bar. Each week we share a secret word, and if you share the secret word with the bartenders after a 3-mile run, you will receive 50% off your first draft. This week, the secret word is Valkyries.
We also need to take this time to ask you to please rate and subscribe to our podcast. We love putting this podcast together. We want to continue to do it. We create, produce, and edit the podcast ourselves. So if you want to support us, rate, subscribe, give us a positive review, share this podcast with someone you love. Thank you to everyone who has rated the podcast so far. If you send us a screenshot of your 5-star rating, we will send you a Women's Sports Weekly sticker for free in the mail. I just sent out some more last week, so bring those ratings in and I will send you a sticker. All right, our deep dive for this week is NCAA softball.
It's been a lot of fun.
It's been so much fun, and I just get hyper-focused.
You do.
I love this time of year.
Yeah, I've been getting into it too. My Tennessee heart, deep down, I'm rooting for Tennessee.
Okay.
They've been playing really well. They've been fun to watch. Yeah, that's who I'm going for.
By the time this comes out, they could or could not be in the World Series, which is a little rough, but I'm assuming that they will be.
I hope so. Go Vols.
Go Vols. I think it's a good team to take. They're fun. Okay, let's get into this game. So we're talking about Texas Tech versus Tennessee. This happened this past Saturday. This was technically, I guess, the quarterfinals. The semifinals were held on Monday, and then the start of the finals will be today when we release, which we'll get into. But let's talk about Texas Tech versus Tennessee. Tennessee won this game 2-1 in 9 innings. There was so much drama throughout this entire thing. So let's start with the very beginning when there was a power outage.
Yeah. I come into the living room, you're watching it on your phone, and I'm like, what is happening? And you were like, there's technical difficulties. Holly Rowe is live streaming on the phone, and it was just madness. And I was just like, how is this possible?
Yeah, we're going to ask each other that a little bit more in a bit. So at the top of the second inning, ABC's coverage of the game suddenly cut out. According to ESPN, there was a power outage at Devon Park that caused the technical difficulties. Oklahoma Gas and Electric Company said that there was not a power outage on their end.
No way.
They did. And they said that the outage was due solely to technical broadcast issues and was not related to electric service. So then, as you mentioned, Holly Rowe starts live streaming on her Instagram account, providing play-by-play and commentary. Holly Rowe should be running ESPN. She should be getting all the money.
Yep.
All the time. How does this happen?
I don't know.
This does not happen in men's sports. It doesn't. How do you not have the things in place to make sure that this does not happen?
Hopefully they learn from this, because a lot of people tune into the Women's College World Series year over year, and people are going to be pissed. We were pissed.
I was very mad. And on top of that, we talk about viewership. Women's College World Series gets a ton of viewership. It more than likely gets more than the men's. And you cannot make it difficult for people to see it. And we go through this time and time again with women's sports. No one watches women's sports. Well, where is it? It's supposed to be on right now and you have a technical difficulty, or in the past, it's like I've had to scrounge around and find it on the dark web. It's so classic that something like this happens.
Yeah, and I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. Obviously, no one wanted for that to happen, but it does suck.
It just feels like there wasn't time and attention that men's sports gets.
Yeah.
Like, why? The biggest event of the year and you're cutting out, just tell us why. Because it wasn't a power outage.
Yeah.
So who messed up? We want to know. I want their name. So ABC and ESPN were covering this. ABC returned to the game at the tail end of the third inning. They only had one camera angle at that time. It was up behind the plate. They didn't have any graphics, or score bugs is what they're called. But then at the top of the fifth inning, ABC's on-screen graphics came back and various camera angles did come back. And luckily it was still 0-0 in this game.
Yeah.
So then the drama continues. Tennessee ends up scoring in the fifth inning and they are up 1-0 going into the seventh. Texas Tech is up to bat at the top of the seventh and they almost score, but the Tennessee center fielder makes an amazing play to throw out the runner at home. Amazing.
So clutch.
And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. But then pitcher Carlin Pickens is pitching. It's a strange name for me because it's not Carolyn and it's not Carly and it's not Caroline. It's Carlin. Okay. She's amazing. She nearly shut out Texas Tech. And then again, they have a play at home. Texas Tech has someone coming home and they're called out for the third out of the inning, but they challenge it and she is safe. The tag was missed.
And another great play, great throw by the center fielder, but unfortunately the catcher just missed her at the plate.
Yes. So then who ends up scoring for Texas Tech is Taylor Pannell, who played for the Lady Vols last season and then transferred to Texas Tech. And we'll have more about that in a little bit. But she scored for Texas Tech to send it into extra innings. We go back and forth in extra innings. In the bottom of the ninth, Emma Clark for Tennessee was up to bat. And Emma Clark walks it off with a lead-off solo home run to end the game.
Yes. You left the room at this point, but you came into the basement and I'm screaming, Carolyn, because I thought you were missing it. You were like, I have it on.
I had it on right here.
Yeah, that was a sick way to end the game.
So Tennessee secures their spot in the Women's College World Series semifinals with the win. This is the first time they advanced to the Women's College World Series semifinals without falling into the losers bracket for the first time since 2013, when they made it all the way to the Women's College World Series finals. But there's more drama that ensues after. So after the game, as we mentioned, former Tennessee softball third baseman Taylor Pannell, who's now playing for Texas Tech, claimed that the Tennessee head coach Karen Weekly told her in the handshake line that she made a mistake in transferring to Texas Tech. So they had just beaten them, and she said in the post-game presser, that's what Karen Weekly said to her.
Yikes.
Karen Weekly was asked if she said anything to Taylor Pannell, and she was like, no, I said good game like I say to everybody.
Yeah, why would the coach say that?
So we have video evidence, and it's clear that Coach Weekly does not say anything to her in the handshake line, which is great. Adults acting like adults. Yeah. And through the handshake line, there's no reaction from Taylor Pannell, like when she crosses over with Karen Weekly. When Taylor Pannell is walking back to the dugout, there's like a mixture of players and coaches from both teams. And you can see on video, she like whips her head back. Someone said something. I don't think it was Karen Weekly. Someone must have said something to her because she got very upset. She said something to her teammates. She said something to Jerry Glasgow, the head coach. Do I think it was Karen Weekly? No. Do I think that there's just been a lot of drama in this entire Women's College World Series and the Super Regionals with Texas Tech? Yes. But she was, it was really something. So let's give some history here. Taylor Pannell announced she was transferring to Texas Tech on June 12th last year, the same day she entered the portal, and after Tennessee's season ended in the Women's College World Series semifinals. The next day, her head coach at Tennessee, Karen Weekly, who we're talking about, wrote a social media post. And the social media post read, quote, I think we can all agree on two things. One, women making money in sports is awesome and long overdue. Two, contacting players directly or indirectly directly before their season ends and signing them to NIL deals before they enter the portal is wrong. Money isn't the issue, tampering is, ! End quote. So there's obviously some feelings that Texas Tech reached out to Taylor Panel before the season was over, got her on an NIL deal, and had her transfer out.
Yeah, none of that sounds good.
I want to just paint this picture of Texas Tech because I think it's important. So they made it to the finals in 2025. They lost to Texas last year. At the time, everybody was really interested and kind of taken by them. Nigeri Kennedy is this amazing pitcher. She is on a $1 million NIL deal last year. Jerry Glasgow is the head coach for Texas Tech. Last year, it was his first year coaching. He's got this amazing story. His daughter passed away tragically. He's a softball dad who's turned into a leading head coach in Division I. It's a pretty amazing story. But then after last year, Texas Tech went on a shopping spree to upgrade their roster. So they went into the transfer portal. They had the financial backing of their NIL collective, the Matador Club, which we'll get into it. And they signed All-Americans like Taylor Panel, who was previously at Tennessee, Mia Williams, who was previously at Florida, along with Caitlin Terry, who was at UCLA. So they just went on like, we're going to make this roster what we need it. And I guess it really rubbed some people the wrong way.
Yeah, that's interesting. You mentioned the Matador Club. What is that exactly?
Okay, so that is their NIL collective, but this is interesting because the Matador Club is run by two billionaire with a B oil tycoons, Cody Campbell and John Sellers, both of whom played football with Texas Tech. And John Sellers' wife played softball at Texas Tech from 2001 to 2003. The Texas Tech Stadium is named after her, and it was John Sellers who originally committed the money to Nigeri Kennedy. So there is a lot of money being funneled in through this NIL collective, which happens. This NIL collective allowed them to assemble an all-star roster that instantly made them national contenders. It's estimated that they plan to pay $55 million to athletes across Texas Tech. So this is all sports, $55 million to athletes during the 2025-2026 academic year.
Yeah, I guess this is where NIL gets murky because you are going to build powerhouse teams where you have money and it can get dicey sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how I feel about it. How do you feel about players getting paid? Do you think they should be?
I go back and forth. I don't think them getting paid is the problem. I think maybe there needs to be more regulations on how they're getting paid and what that looks like, but that's all. I don't know how you do it, but I just think it gets murky sometimes, and I don't know how it's going to shape all the sports in years to come. We're just going to have these powerhouse teams where there's money, I think, and that can get tricky.
Yeah, and I'm like, is it any different from what it was before? Because I feel like that money payment was just happening under the table, right? And now we're seeing more investment in women's sports, which I think is great. And so there's a part of me that is very much like, yes, we should be paying the players. And if you're mad that your players are getting taken and they're transferring to other schools, then you need to go and find funders to pay your players, right?
Yeah, I will say I would not want to be a head coach in this environment. That's for sure.
Do I like that the people who are funding Texas Tech are like oil and gas tycoons and that players from other teams are getting plucked up? No, but I understand why it's happening.
Yep.
So I don't know. This is another one where I'm like, I agree with you. I think there needs to be more regulation around it. And we like to say that there was this purity of sports. And I don't think that purity has been there for a while. I think those payments were happening under the table and now they're in the open. And I think it's great that athletes in women's sports get to take advantage of it. So yeah, I go back and forth. Texas Tech ends up staying alive and beating UCLA on Sunday. They would need to beat Alabama twice on Monday to advance to the finals because Alabama doesn't have any losses. We don't know the results of that. We'll see who's in the finals. So let's get into what we're looking forward to this week. I will go first because I'm still talking about the Women's College World Series. The finals begin today. It's a best of 3 series. It starts today, June 3rd at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. Game 2 will be on Thursday, and then Game 3, if needed, will be on Friday. What are you looking forward to, Danielle?
I'm looking forward to the U.S. Women's National Team. They are back in action for a pair of friendlies games versus Brazil starting this Saturday, June 6th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. You can catch them on TBS and HBO Max. The USA currently sits second in the FIFA Women's World Rankings, and Brazil is sixth. Both games will be in Brazil. Mallory Swanson has been called up, and this will be the first U.S. Women's National Team training camp since October of 2024. And first since the birth of her daughter in mid-November of last year. So we had first Sophia Wilson, and now Mallory Swanson following suit in this.
Yeah, and with her return, the triple espresso is back. So Trinity Rodman is in this camp, Mallory Swanson, and Sophia Wilson. This is the first time they're on the same roster in almost 22 months. At the 2024 Olympics, this trio combined for 10 goals and 5 assists, with Mallory Swanson scoring the game-winning goal in the Olympic final on her 100th cap.
Yeah. And this is the third camp in the row where the U.S. Women's National Team roster has 0 uncapped players on it. And that is no mistake. Emma Hayes, once again, is a genius.
We're just calling her a genius. I love that. They're also playing in Brazil. So this will be interesting for the U.S. They've been playing a lot at home stadiums. So they're going to Brazil. I'm excited to see these matches.
For sure. And that is it for this week. We will see you next week on Women's Sports Weekly. In the meantime, watch women's sports and share the podcast with your friends. Rate and subscribe to the pod on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Thanks for joining us.